Hello and welcome back to episode 12 of Film Focus, weekly independent film review show with me, Fred Black.
I'm Anthony Squire.
And yeah, this week we're looking at 2 more films and only 4 more trailers this week because the internet. It's been a slow week on the internet, obviously.
The trailers aren't as good as Iron Sky or Battleship, but you know they're still passable.
I don't want to even think of those trailers anymore. We'll get straight on stuck into our first film of the week. The cancer comedy, which is 2 words I never thought I'd say together, 50-50.
Yeah, it's basically a young man. It's supposedly based on a true story.
You say supposedly, it is. The guy...
Really?
Yeah, no, Seth Rogen and the director. I don't know who the director... I can't remember who the director's... what the director's name is. I don't know if you've written it down. Yeah, Jonathan, yeah. They both know the guy it's based on. Like, he's a personal friend of theirs. So yes, this guy who gets cancer, and it's just him dealing with it, essentially, which it's a very basic way to say it, but it's kind of light-hearted comedy romp as well. It
was done really well, though. The comedy wasn't grotesque. It was... The whole film had a really good sort of beat to it, you know, it moved at a really good pace. The acting was... yeah, it was good.
It was good, yeah. Well, I thought it was... I was kind of worried it was going to be some sort of a kind of crude, like American Pie style crude fest.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It kind of held itself back a little bit. I mean, you know, Seth Rogen was the kind of, you know, the crude element in it.
Yeah.
He was one of those people just like swearing for the sake of it and coming up with all these like bizarre, you know, sexual innuendos and stuff like that, which was all funny. And usually I can't. Sometimes I just kind of watch a film with that sort of character in it. I'm just like, yeah, okay, get on with it. But he was actually, you know, it was kind of like a big.
It didn't rely on grotesque humour. It actually had a decent story,
and a very, very decent performance from Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah,
as Adam, the cancer patient. He was definitely, and very, you know, just very good to watch.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, it's not entirely a comedy.
Well,
it's
no,
not entirely a comedy.
You couldn't really do an entire comedy about cancer.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what. Because I watched this with my entire family and we weren't really sure what to expect, other than we wanted to see it. Because they were all like, oh yeah, I'll bring that round and we'll watch it. And then about probably like half an hour before the end, it starts just getting really, really depressing and like, you know, just gets really, really serious.
Well, I think it had to, but I mean, dealing with cancer, it couldn't just be all laughs and smiles.
And I'm not saying this is a bad thing though. I'm not saying this is like, oh, this is taking itself too seriously, blah, 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 blah. It just wasn't like, we weren't expecting it, so it took us back a bit, and we were just like, oh, and I think because it just kind of hit us like unannounced, it was like more genuinely affecting, and you know, it was like, it tugged at my heartstrings a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I liked. Oh, who plays his friend? Is it Seth Rogen?
Seth
Rogen, who plays his long-term friend. He puts up a really good performance.
He does, yeah. It's like, you know, you don't think he's actually helping him or doing anything good, and it turns out he is. He's doing loads of research and everything, and you know, there's loads of little kind of elements and like events that happen throughout the film that you know just spur your interest on, and it's one of those. I mean, I ended up giving it an 8 out of 10 because I was just genuinely like, it was one of those like, way better than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, it was a lot better than I thought it would be. I gave it a 7.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say about this film.
I mean, it's a good comedy movie. I'm just repeating myself now. You know, decent, fairly good acting. The whole story moves at a good pace. I didn't get bored with it at any point. And like you said, about half an hour before the end of the film?
It's just like it's really serious and just goes straight for your emotional core. Like, ooh.
I think it's good it could do that though. It could go from being sort of, I don't know, it's quite a lot lighthearted.
Yeah, because the way he deals with it, the way he like goes and sees this inexperienced therapist, that was really funny. Like just like a mess everywhere, and they clean out her car and everything like that. And the way he just deals with it, and he's just like I'm fine, I'm absolutely fine. I'm just getting on with things. It's like, no, but how are you feeling? I'm fine. I've got cancer. What do you want me to say?
I love that his leaving to where he was working, and you could in his voice, in his head, you just suddenly heard him say, "No one knows what to say."
Yeah. Oh yes, because he has like tons of people just saying, "Oh yeah, my brother had cancer, my wife had cancer," and all that. And he's just going, "I don't want to hear about them." It's like, it's just like, let's just have a bit of fun, shall we? But there's all sorts of like things that it deals with, all those cliches of cancer, all those cliches of sounds a bit of a weird way to put it, but all those things people go
stereotypes.
Yeah, kind of. All those things people go through, like the grieving, and then how other people deal with it towards you, and it's just a very well thought out film. Probably because I think it is written by the guy who got it, who is the guy it's based on. He wrote it, but it was interesting watching some of the kind of documentaries or the featurettes on the disc, and he was just saying, "I didn't want to make it all about me." And he was I was looking at going, okay, it kind of did,
but
yeah. But the thing is, he was saying, like, I didn't want to make it all about me, even though it is like kind of my film. He's like, he wanted to make Adam, or the character of Adam, like a whole kind of roster of experiences, like not just the ones he's had, but experiences he's heard people have had, and just kind of jazz them up for the movie a bit and make them but just to make it like not all about him, which I thought was quite nice, because you could have just made it like a biopic or something, couldn't you? And made it really self-centered.
Drowned for film and emotional background music. Every time a door gets opened up, whatever.
Yes, but yeah, 50-50. That's actually quite a good film.
I'd recommend getting this one.
Yeah, probably buying it. Well, just depending on your tastes.
Rent it first.
Yeah, we've rented a lot more films than we would actually buy. I think there's not even half these films I would actually consider buying that we've watched over the course of the show.
No, I mean, some of them, maybe a couple of
them. Some of them.
Actually, I can't think of any.
You're too generous for this type of show, aren't you? You can't be a harsh critic at all.
Actually, to be honest, none of them.
You wouldn't consider buying any film that we've seen?
Apart from, what was that one called? The Skin I Live In.
Oh,
that's the only one.
Good. I would have bought that on Blu-ray the other day. I went on like a massive Blu-ray spending spree, and I would have bought it, but it was like 20 quid.
20 quid?
It was like 20 quid or something, and I was like getting like 2 for 15. There was like a whole massive selection of 2 for £15. I was like, I'll just get that.
Just once when VHS went out and suddenly all VHS went really cheap, which I think, DVD's not mega cheap at the moment, but it's heading that way.
No, yeah, they're definitely going like mega cheap route at the moment, and Blu-ray is definitely like it's the be all and end all of. Unless they kind of make more high definition picture, like super high definition.
Wait till everyone's bought all the latest Blu-rays and then aha.
Yeah. Well, apparently 3D is like the big thing, isn't it? So we won't get started.
3D is just so. Yeah, but moving on to trailers.
Yeah, well, that ends 50-50 review, and we'll go on to our trailers. Only 4 this week, because the internet is having a very slow week, as we said. And we start with the latest full trailer for Prometheus, Ridley Scott's Alien film. Which showed
Ridley Scott, if you're watching this, which I doubt you are, but just in case.
Oh, you are very optimistic, friend. You are very optimistic, my friend. Ridley Scott, are you watching this?
Please stop making any more trailers for Prometheus.
Well, the thing is, this comes out, June, July?
Yeah, but he's going to release so many trailers. Everyone's going to go and watch the film and think.
He hasn't released that many. He's released the first one, which was like the very brief kind of teaser. And then there was we looked at this Empire article that said 2 more Prometheus trailers have been released, and one of them was like a minute IMAX trailer, specifically made for IMAX theatres, and that didn't really show anything new. And then there's the one we just watched, which is like 2.5 minutes long.
But there's also the one with that guy giving the speech.
Oh yeah, well that's yes, the promo shot, the TED talk, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think if he really wants. If we wanted the film to have had more of an impact, it'd have given a very brief trailer on Prometheus. Not because each trailer seems to get more in depth into the actual one. Gives more of an oversight of the film. I just keep thinking, if you keep making these,
there's not going to be any more surprises.
Yeah, eventually the film's going to come out, and everyone's just going to be, I've watched the trailers.
Yeah, I've seen. Well, there are some films like that where you do watch the trailer and it's just like, I feel like I've seen the film now. What was that one that football drama we watched the trailer for? Was it like Touchback? Where that guy
that was a brilliant trailer.
Yeah, but it felt like you'd seen the entire film because it basically went through like what happened to him at the start, his road to recovery.
That was different though. That was a light-hearted sort of comedy film.
No, it wasn't. It was like serious, rousing drama stuff, and it was like
but it's comedy. It was in there.
But it's the thing. Yeah, but the thing with trailers though is you don't need to see the entire film. The less you see, the better. And this, it kind of does that. I mean, there's all the flashing images, so it's difficult to see what's going on. But you know,
I mean, I told you about this before. Serenity. The trailer for that was awful when it came out. Was it 2006, 2005?
Yeah, something like that. 2006.
The trailer was awful, but the film was just spot on.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing.
I know I'm evil. I have no illusions.
Yes. Anyway, we move on from Prometheus, which will be good. I'm actually quite looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to the film, but
yeah,
please, no more trailers for Prometheus.
We've had enough already. We just want to see the film now.
Yeah.
And we move on to our next trailer, Jesus Henry Christ, which is the actual name of the film, Jesus Henry Christ, which I'm actually quite interested about. This looks
curious
quite
about
fun.
it. Basically, this smart kid.
Yeah, like super genius kid.
6 or 7? Or was he 7 or 8?
I would go so far as to say he's like 10 years old or something. But anyway, he's
in junior school, and then it turns out he's applying for college already. And then he's asking who his dad is, and it turns out his mum, she doesn't really know who her dad is because she went to a clinic and got some sperm put in her and pushed him out that way.
You put that very delicately, Anthony. That's very nice. And essentially he's like this uber smart kid who's applied for college. He goes to find his father. It's got Michael Sheen in it. Frost Nixon and Underworld films he's been in, and he does some good films, and it looks actually quite funny. It looks like a
good sort of. There'll be some emotional moments in there, but it looks like a good average comedy drama.
A fairly intelligent comedy as well.
I'll wait and see.
Well, compared to most of American Pie stuff and all that sort of general stuff that just does fart jokes for laughs, this doesn't seem to resort to that. It actually has a script underlying it.
I'm going to wait and see on this one. I'm curious about it.
But yeah, the next trailer we got, Snow White and the Huntsman. Visually, it looks amazing.
In terms of dramatic background music,
it's spot on, yeah. But visually, it does look amazing. There's loads of slow motion, kind of very pretty looking shots and everything. And this is the second Snow White film to be released recently. I mean, now in cinemas there's Mirror Mirror. I don't know if you've seen billboard posters for that on bus stops and stuff like that.
Not yet.
I've seen them. They're all up and down Portland Road where we're near. And but and then there's another Snow White film coming out, and you're just like, oh, okay, they're getting back into their little fairy tale land again. It's like every 10 years they just roll out another Snow White remake, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it could be good. I mean, Mirror Mirror looked better, I think.
Unfortunately, though, it's got Kristen Stewart in it, this one. Snow White and the Huntsman. So, Kristen Stewart being out of Twilight.
I didn't want to say anything.
Nah. I thought you'd forgotten already. You're trying to blank it out your mind. I was like, no, delete the memories.
Some things you just can't forget.
Yeah, that'll be next episode, guys. Look forward to that.
Putting that to one side.
Yeah, Snow White and the Huntsman, big hit or miss. You could, there are films that just go visually, they just go flat out with everything like that, and they don't actually take time to make sure it's an entertaining film. I'm worried it'll be the one like that.
Yeah, like you said, it's going to be hit or miss. I don't know until I've watched it, really.
No, another gleaming gem of wisdom from Anthony there. I don't know if it'll be good until I watch it. And our last trailer.
You gotta love simplicity.
Yes, indeed, you gotta love that simplicity. The last trailer we got is a very short David Cronenberg trailer called Cosmopolis.
Oh,
with
Robert
Pattinson in it. Strangely enough, I wasn't put off by that fact.
This trailer basically is a good
30 seconds. 34 seconds
30.
if you want. You want it to be precise, 34 seconds.
A good 34 seconds. It's basically just looking at people's names who are in the film, and then a couple of shots of some bloke with a gun.
Yeah, does he fire it through his hand?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
I wonder, because it is like very quick fire images of the film, and there's like some sort of giant rat walking through New York City.
Yeah, that's
Robert Pattinson fires a gun through his hand, supposedly, and he gets tasered.
Yeah. I like this trailer because
it's very weird.
It didn't really give anything away. It was simple. A couple of screenshots thrown in.
Yeah.
It kept you guessing. To me, that's a good trailer.
I get that, and I was very interested with this as well. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I'm very interested to see this when it comes out. It's definitely like I want to like a more full trailer of it just to see what's.
I like that it didn't really give anything away. It wasn't one of these. Everything was good until that night.
Yeah, but if I remember rightly, Cronenberg is never usually like that sort of thing. He just does oddball stuff
exactly
most of the time.
So throw that element in as well.
It looks a very, very, very weird trailer, and definitely probably one of the trailers of the week. I think like one of the best ones we've seen.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what we got next episode. But yeah, actually, no, if what we got next episode, it probably is one of the best trailers of the week. So Cosmopolis, go check that one out, and we move on to our second film. That's our trailer's done with, and we move on to the virus epidemic known as Contagion, which
Contagion. It had a really good idea. You know, a lethal virus,
and no one knows what it is. No one knows how to stop it. You know. It can be transferred through like breathing and touching anything. If you touch like a bar on a bus, someone else touches that same bar, they have the virus, and somehow, it just goes on infecting the world, and the World Health Organization tries to deal with it. And
I mean, Matt Damon gave a good performance, but again, the film did. I just keep thinking of the Bourne films with him, and I think
I try not to.
In his role in this film, I could see that sort of.
You could see a bit of Bourne coming through.
Yeah.
See, I try not to think of like their biggest film roles, because there was Lawrence Fishburne in there as well, and you would just think Morpheus.
No, those days are gone.
Yeah, well, exactly. But then the Bourne days are gone as well.
True.
Yeah, for Matt Damon, you said you can't look at him without
because he still had that. In the acting he was giving, he had that sort of Bourne feel to him. It's hard to describe it. I mean, putting that to one side, I felt this film moved at a really bad pace. It was slow. I got bored. I fell asleep halfway through. And I'm not making
Did you?
I dozed off, and then I was like, how much have I missed? And then
you had to watch like half the film again.
Sort of films you watch and you think, I've got to make myself interested. You've got to make yourself interested in it.
There are at least 3 films this week like that.
By the time you get to the end credits, you're thinking, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's like, finally, I can take this out of my DVD player. But yeah, and the annoying thing is, it is such an interesting idea, and it it does touch on like just the kind of craziness of our how we deal with things, like how long it takes for like someone to combat a virus and everything like that. Why Matt Damon is immune to the virus, by the way, is a bit of a spoiler. Don't know.
I mean, it's just pretty high. Some good actors in there. I mean, like you said, Lawrence Fishburne, Gwyneth Paltrow, Matt Damon. But I think the film relied a little bit too much on them. And like I said earlier, it just bad editing.
It doesn't make it feel like an epidemic of sorts, as if like, oh, these are just people dealing with a bit of a shitty situation. It's like that doesn't make it interesting to me.
You had your usual dramatic background music at various points, but
nothing kind of really kind of hard hitting.
The film failed to deliver.
It did. It failed to deliver on a number of levels, and I mean, it was all very kind of creepy in the just initial build up to it. It's like what happens to these people? Why are they dying? What is this?
Exactly. They never really explained that.
But it was all kind of like how this thing originated, and they seem to get too hung up on where it came from.
Oh, what, the meal and the...
Yeah, they seem to get where the virus actually came from, and I was just like, that's all kind of interesting and all, but it's just, it didn't really...
Yeah, great, we know where it comes from. Next problem, how do we fix it?
Yeah, well, and it answers, at the end of the film, it does answer where it comes from, and they, like... But it was just something so unlikely, and... For a very real world film, and this is definitely, this is like no flashy scenarios or anything like that. It's all very real world. Yeah. It's meant to be gritty and like realistic. It seemed completely implausible and completely unrealistic most of the time, which was a little annoying.
In short, I gave it a 4 out of 10.
Me too, actually.
It had a really good idea, but it failed to deliver.
It failed big time. There just wasn't any kind of substance to it. It tried to play it as quiet as possible, didn't it?
Yeah, nothing. You got a virus. So a few people have died, and then
nothing really happened.
Nothing really happened after that. So
yeah, and then obviously like more and more people start dying, but it's just like, do we care? It's like you didn't know.
Well, no, I know what you mean. I was looking at it thinking, more people are dying, how much longer have I got to the end of the film?
You also had like Jude Law's reporter in there, just like kind of cured himself with some random like Kemp drug thing that was like, it seemed to be some sort of like, was it forsythia or something like that?
I think so.
And then he got better, apparently. And then that's it. He just goes around leafleting, this drug works, and it all becomes just like they kind of have all these characters like intertwining throughout the story that have like these really, you could make entire films out of their story.
I think that's what the film relied too much on, it focusing on what it could have done in terms of these other stories, not actually paying attention to the story it was trying to deliver.
Well, the thing is that it might have worked better if you just focused on like 1 or 2 characters. And their story would have told pretty much what's going on. Instead, you have like 8 or 9 characters throughout the entire film, and you're just like the whole kind of message of the film gets a bit kind of bogged down underneath all their backstory and all their emotional problems
on itself, really.
Yeah, I was very disappointed with it. 4 out of 10 might be being a little bit generous for me, but
4 out of 10 was. No, it's accurate for me.
It's accurate for you. I think I might be a little bit generous, but because, it all looked good, it kind of sounded good and everything.
Yeah, but it's like I said before, you can have films that look good, sound good. I mean, like we've said before, 3D. Yeah, it can look good, it can sound good, but at the end of the day, you need a decent story. You need the film had good acting in it, but they just had a bad script to work with.
Yeah, it wasn't. There was nothing really solid about the film at all, really, was there?
No.
It just all kind of like wobbled nervously around this virus thing, and then went, okay, we're done now. Okay, we've solved it. Yeah, okay, go away.
If you're in a video store this weekend and you see this film on the shelf, just leave it there.
Yeah, just leave it. Yeah, don't pick it up. Don't even investigate it. I mean, and the annoying thing was as well, it got so many good reviews.
It got like good. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Have these reviewers actually seen the film, or are they just like, Matt Damon, Lawrence Fishburne, Gwyneth Paltrow, Jude Law? It must be brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things. Like, he got like 4 stars from Empire, like Daily Telegraph's going mental about it, saying this is the scariest film of all time. I'm like, not really.
Oh,
it's a scary idea, but you know.
Let me say it's the scare. What they should be saying is it's the scariest film of all time until the next one.
Yeah, until the next one. What was it? The way they just hype up this stuff is just absolutely unbelievable. Like, the way they call films the movie event of the year. I can name 2 films so far this year.
I know.
That have been... Well, no, 3 films now this year that have been the movie event of the year. You've had The Iron Lady, which came out right at the start of the year and was already being called the movie event of the year by a couple of papers. Then you had Twilight, obviously, the movie event of the year, as it was released on DVD. Yeah, just like, fuck off, Twilight.
Moving on.
Most recently, you've had The Hunger Games, which has been released in cinemas this week.
Yeah, I'll have to go and watch that because.
And yeah, I'm intrigued by it. Everyone is going fucking bonkers about this. They're going absolutely, over the moon for it.
It's like a newer version of The Running Man.
I don't. It's like. I don't
obviously
know.
It's not going to be the same as Running Man.
That's not
don't have
Arnie. Yeah, you don't have Arnie. If Arnie just turns up in the Hunger Games going, you will have to defeat me. Oh shit!
Uzi 9mm.
Uzi 9mm, you and you have a bow and arrow. Fuck you.
But yeah, Hunger Games. I'll have to go and watch it at the cinema before I can give a proper.
Yeah, but it's sort of like these. Just don't believe the hype of most films. I mean, we will tell you what films to believe the hype on. You can trust us.
Yes.
Yes. Apart from when it comes to Iron Sky.
But I told you about. I know. Sorry, I have to.
No, we're not. No, we're ending the episode there.
No, sorry.
I'm going to go turn the camera off if you keep going.
Oh, Nazis that come down from space. The plot of the film is they're living on the moon.
Speak coherently about this film.
I know, just the whole idea that Nazis have been on the moon since 1945. And
are you kidding? They were on there the entire time.
Yeah. And there's the whole idea of them just coming down. And,
no. Why did I mention this?
The release date is even like you said earlier, Hitler's birthday.
Oh yeah, that film. That was actually quite funny. They're releasing this film about Nazis from space, essentially, on April 20th, which is Hitler's birthday. He was born on April 20th. I'm just like, you clever bastards.
Sorry, I'm not trying to. I don't want to hype it up, but the space station on the moon, right, on the dark side of the moon, it's even in the shape of a swastika.
Yeah. I think we'll end the episode there.
Sorry, comrades.
You can nerd out. You can nerd out afterwards. Yeah, thank you for watching.
Cheers, guys.
And we'll see you next episode for
Take care.
a little bit more reviews. Yeah, we'll see you later.